Hello and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Age of Empires 1 Definitive Edition update number 9, which has been released a little time ago. And while it brought some quality of life improvements, like the automatic file transfer of maps in the multiplayer, or the UI not actually displaying the number of villagers working on each resource, the real meat of this update, I would say, is really lying in the balance updates, because there have been quite a few changes been made there, and that's what I'm going to talk about right now. So first of all, there was quite a few things been done to the archery range. First of all, the bowman training time has been reduced from 30 seconds to 26 seconds, and at the same time the slinger training time has been increased from 24 seconds to 28 seconds. So I would say this should make the archer range in the early game, the archer rush in the early game, a little bit more viable, because slingers of course counter bowmen, but now you can at least have more bowmen on the field than your opponent can train slingers, just in terms of creation time, and that would make the bowman rush a little bit harder to counter. Although, yeah, slingers still have unchanged stats, so they should work in that situation still. And also the chariot archer now deals no bonus damage against priests anymore. So in the past you could very easily counter priests if you had access to chariot archers, of course. Now it's not that easy anymore. You might want to get the melee chariots, but then you need to micro a little bit more so you can actually reach the priests and all that stuff. So priests and this with this change have become a little bit stronger. Now there were some changes to the stable as well. First of all, the scouts now do auto attack, and they don't need to be tasked to do that anymore. And their cost also has been decreased from 100 food to 80 food. So they have increased usability and decreased cost. Again, as we saw with the bowman rush, now the scout harassment in the early game could have been a little bit more viable through this change. And I got the feeling in general the changes from this update kind of entice you to play a little bit more aggressive in the early game, should bring more action, more movement into the games, which, well, maybe is not such a bad idea after all. But not only the scouts got changed, but the cavalry and heavy cavalry and a cataphract as well, of course. They've gotten one extra pierce armor. Cataphracts, or heavy cavalry in general, has been quite a favorite unit of mine, to be honest, since I played a lot with the Yamato. And having them get extra pierce armor, I'm not sure if they needed that, but especially cataphracts were underused to my experience at least, so this could give them a little bit more punch and power. Alright, now, okay, one more change which I think is not really that important, but the sacrifice upgrade, which was the one for your priests, where when you convert a unit and then delete your priest, you get the conversion instantly. It has been decreased from 600 gold to 400 gold. I personally never used that one because it seems quite wasteful. Now it's cheaper, so I guess it becomes an option. But yeah, I'm still not very sold on that one. But something which is a lot nicer is the priests now auto heal wounded units. So it was previously kind of a pain to get your priests to have everybody full health all the time, and yeah, that micromanagement which was required there previously is not really needed anymore, and you can kind of invest more in situations where you, yeah, like micro units and fights and all that stuff, and not just staying around and making sure everybody gets healed up again. So this is nice in my opinion. I will also another change about the cataphract. Of course, they get plus 20 HP, so they should definitely get the usability of the cataphract unit to a point where it's actually usable. That makes sense. But now we're getting into the Civ specific changes, and there the first change, something I'm not entirely fond of is the Yamato Cavalry and Horse Archers cost from minus 25% gets decreased to minus 20%. So especially in deathmatch this will be quite noticeable, but on the other hand the cataphracts now get plus 20 HP and plus 1 PS armor, so at least for this unit is kind of balanced out. I think they are even better now than they were. Like the 5% cost is more than set up by the PS armor and HP increase there. Only for Horse Archer strategies they were suffering a little bit. The Sumerians lose craftsmanship. Actually not too sure what to say about that. I think it's just a minor change really. And the Roman building cost reduction has been reduced from minus 50% to minus 10%. It was a very, very strong bonus. I think it has been nerfed in the past already, but apparently it is still a bit too strong, so they just put some percentage off there. I can understand it. I know how hard it was to fight Romans back in the beta, and haven't seen them all too much now, but I'm sure this is deserved because having cost reduction on your buildings is something really powerful, and you have to be careful with those numbers there. And the last change for today is, or for this patch, is the Chosen Clubmen and X-Men gaining plus 5 HP. Again, enticing early aggression because, well, in the late game the X-Men is not doing all that much anymore. In the early game, especially with the extra beefness added, they can be quite a threat. And yeah, got that HP boost, which I think definitely will change the meta in general a little bit towards more aggression in the early game, as are the changes to scouts and to bowmen, which should be healthy for the multiplayer. How this will affect gameplay on the long run is something we'll just see how it turns out. But I think this update definitely is a step into the right direction. However, I should at this point also state that I'm not an expert on Age of Empires 1 balancing, so everything I said here should be taken with a grain of salt. I just gave some thoughts of my own here, how those updates, how those changes could be justified and what they could mean for the future. Yeah, at this point I would like to say thanks for being around here and thanks for watching. I would like to wish you a wonderful day and goodbye. See you on the next video.